Mountains are majestic features of the Earth's landscape, towering above the land and reaching toward the sky. They are formed by powerful geological processes and have played a significant role in shaping the Earth's surface and influencing human history. This is the story of mountains, from their formation to their impact on the world. What is a mountain? A mountain is a large landform that rises prominently above its surroundings, typically having a peak or summit. It is usually steeper than a hill and has a distinct topographical profile. Mountains can be found on every continent and come in various shapes and sizes, from the towering peaks of the Himalayas to the gently rolling hills of the Appalachians. How do mountains form? Mountains are formed through a variety of geological processes. Here are the main ways they can form. Tectonic plate movements. The Earth's crust is divided into large pieces called tectonic plates. When these plates collide, pull apart, or slide against each other, they create stress and pressure. This can cause the crust to fold, fault, or uplift, forming mountains. The Himalayas, for example, were formed by the collision between the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate. Volcanic activity. Some mountains are created by volcanic activity. When magma from deep within the Earth erupts through the surface, it can build up over time, forming a volcanic mountain. Mount Fuji in Japan and Mount St. Helens in the United States are examples of volcanic mountains. Erosion and weathering. Over long periods, mountains can also be shaped by erosion and weathering. Wind, water, and ice can wear down mountains, carving out valleys and shaping their features. The Appalachian Mountains in the eastern United States are an example of mountains that have been heavily eroded over time. The life of mountains have a life cycle that can span millions of years. They start as young, rugged peaks and can become worn down and eroded over time. Young mountains. These mountains are characterized by steep slopes and sharp peaks. They are still rising and have not yet been heavily worn down. The Himalayas and the Rockies are examples of young mountain ranges. Mature mountains. As mountains age, their peaks become less sharp and their slopes become more gentle due to erosion. The peaks might be rounded and valleys are carved out by glaciers and rivers. The Alps in Europe are a classic example of mature mountains. Old mountains. These are mountains that have been significantly worn down by erosion. They often have rolling hills and gentle slopes rather than sharp peaks. The Appalachians are an example of old mountains. The impact of mountains have a profound impact on the environment, climate, and human societies. Climate and weather. Mountains can influence local and global weather patterns. They act as barriers to prevailing winds, causing rainfall on the windward side and creating arid conditions on the leeward side. This phenomenon is known as orographic precipitation. The Andes in South America and the Rockies in North America significantly affect the climate of their regions. Biodiversity. Mountains are home to diverse ecosystems and unique species. They provide habitats for many plants and animals that have adapted to the specific conditions of high altitudes. For example, the Tibetan Plateau is home to species such as the snow leopard and Tibetan antelope. Water resources. Many of the world's major rivers originate in mountain ranges. Mountains act as natural water towers, capturing and storing water in glaciers and snowfields. This water then flows down to lower regions, providing vital resources for agriculture and drinking. The source of the Nile River, which begins in the mountains of East Africa, is one such example. Mountains and human history. Mountains have also played a significant role in human history and culture.